What's up, guys? Happy Thursday. Chuck Silver and Nick Marro here with Occupy Fantasy to bring you strategy for DraftKings and FanDuel. We had a messy slate yesterday, got some cool late news. Today, we have a extra messy slate. We already have a bunch of teams doing weird stuff, so we'll get into it. Nick, how are we feeling about, we have, three more slates left?
Yeah, I think so, man. Ready for the playoffs. These have been pretty grueling. Yeah, we were joking before. It kind of feels like summer league. You got to figure out which teams are actually letting their guys play full games, and I don't know all the nuance, the rotations. It's absolutely insane. At the same time, it's pretty easy to get away from chalk. Some of it's obvious, but yeah, we'll talk you guys through it. We'll do the best we can with the information we have.
Yeah, I had Cleveland pulled up to open the stream. Jared Allen is on a minutes limit, so they're only letting him play. Everyone else is out today. They're only letting him play so he can say he played all 82 games. They did this a few games ago. He just didn't come in for the second half. That's why we haven't projected for 21. This is already too high. This is a very easy guy to not play today at all. There's no reason to get there.
Yep, obvious fade for sure.
Rear Finch, Ben Jeezy, Unicorn Love seeing you guys. Do we think Timmy's a good play today? What do we think, Netsman?
Yeah, when we get to them, I got to dig a little bit deeper into who's available, but I think he's okay. Like, I'm sure there's better value now that his price has come up a little bit. I think we are under projecting his minutes by a few. So, yeah, I'd say he's a pretty good play. Not something you want your whole night to depend on. But we're going to be mixing in even grosser names than him tonight. So, why not? Sure.
Landon, hey. Oh, what's good? DFS Jayhawk in the chat. Smash that like button. We truly appreciate it. Do we go with Jerome or pivot with Peyton? Is that a elf? Jerome's going to be the number one play for sure. Yeah, 22 DK value.
Oh, I mean, on FanDuel, yeah, they both look good, honestly.
Elf is actually higher on DK. I didn't even notice.
I mean, we have him for 33 minutes. If he's playing 33 minutes, they're both pretty damn good.
Yeah, I think you'd like Ty Jerome, we have 27. Elf, we have 33. I would kind of flip that a little bit. That would put Ty Jerome ahead of Elf, but I guess they're both really good plays.
Yep.
Is it okay to play Thompson over Ann or bad idea? Who's Thompson?
Yeah, I don't even know who that is.
Is that a sewer? It's kind of a different price tier.
We'll get into that. Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it, but one of the only games that matters tonight is that Minnesota Memphis game. So if you are paying up, I think it makes sense to be getting to a lot of Ant. Gobert as well. There's Jaw in that game. But yeah, all these teams are not going to be competitive for the most part. Or they'll be competitive, but the guys that we want to pay up for aren't necessarily going to see their full run of minutes. I think that game, we can kind of rely on that. Really tight spread, really high total, late night hammer, checks all the boxes. So I would not be playing any Thompson over Ant tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys playing tonight who are very important that they're healthy for their team. So we're not going to project them to lose minutes, but just know that it's possible with basically everyone except for this last game. I see a question, ownership on Rollins and Porter Jr. Ryan Rollins is at 1 and 4%. Porter Jr. is at 2%. So one of these, that's probably a good spot to get to.
Yeah, it's whoever starts, I think. Last time I was really talking up Porter, and then Rollins got the start. So I think we covered that. Rollins had the better game, but yeah, whoever starts is usually the guy there.
How we doing, Darnell? And then Don Pla. I don't know how to say your name, sorry. But yeah, small forward sucks today. We got Antonio Reeves, Keon Brooks at the top of value, I'd say so.
Yeah, definitely.
And Jamal Cain.
Yeah, on FanDuel, you could play Ant at small forward, which is very useful. On DK, like if you're sorting by OF index, I don't think there's a small forward on the first page.
Oh, sick. Yeah, so we're going to have to figure out what to do. I mean, the easy one is DeAndre Hunter, 4,300. The Cavs are all out, projected for around 20% ownership. He probably wouldn't get blowout run, but he doesn't need it. We haven't projected for 28 minutes, and the price is definitely incorrect on DraftKings with everyone out. On FanDuel, yeah, this ownership is not... He should be higher on DK, I think.
Yeah, I think he makes sense. I mean, the minutes could be all over the place. I don't know that he's going to play 30. He never does, even in competitive games that quote unquote matter for the Hawks. I do think LeVert's pretty interesting against the Nets. Definitely someone I'd want to get some exposure to. I don't know. There's some dart throws for sure, but what Don said, it is by far the grossest position on the slate.
I'm glad you mentioned LeVert. He was the next guy I was going to say. Pretty easy to plug him into my dummy. 4,500, 12% ownership. That seems like a pretty solid play.
Yeah.
Let's see. We only have 5 games today, so I want to take a little look at the slate as a whole. Yeah, Minnesota Memphis actually means something, and it's a good game environment. We know we like playing guys in Memphis games. Mm-hmm. 3 Pels. Oh, we'll dig into that. It's probably not bad.
Yeah, they don't have much available today. 3 Pels makes sense.
So a sewer versus Ant. I mean, you can just take a look at it just to show you how that looks. Let's do Minnesota and Detroit. It's like, what would you do with that extra salary? And then this question actually came up a few weeks ago with Denny Avdia versus whatever cheap chalk piece we had. And I think Smitty and I both said the cheap chalk piece, but after thinking about it, it's like a lot of guys can do what Asar does. And Asar can put up a ceiling game at his price, sure, but he doesn't have that 60-point ceiling. Like Anthony Edwards can make a huge difference tonight where we can get what we get from Asar from someone else. And so it's probably just going to be Ant Edwards. I mean, he's one of the top OF plays. He is pulling the ownership, but I mean, he's at worst the second best player. He's the best player in the game that means the most tonight. Asar's not too far down though. Asar's fine. Value scores leave, not great, 1% and 2%. This is a deep pivot, I think.
Yeah, we haven't had any coach speak from Detroit on what they're doing, have we? Like they're pretty much locked into their playoff spot. But yeah, I mean, Oster's been playing really well for his price. I do think if he's going to get his normal minutes, he's a solid option.
Yeah, just looking at like the previous game, Cade, he's probable in 30 plus minutes. Yeah, it was kind of a close-ish game. Asar with Tobias, and I mean, if Tobias is out, we're pretty happy. I mean, we're not happy, but we're okay paying the 6,700 for Asar. But with Tobias, and it's a little tougher. I mean, he's a fine play. The model is saying that he's probably overperforming right now. Yeah. All right, let's jump into this first game, Nick. Knicks versus Detroit. Oh. So the Knicks are without Mikal Bridges and they have Mikal. They're without OG, Josh Hart, and Mitchell Robinson. So what were you looking at here?
I mean, this is one of those games that I think it's very difficult to know how to project these guys. First of all, we're dealing with Dibs, so he's not going to think like a regular NBA coach. Usually, you'd probably want to rest some of these guys before the playoffs, like we saw with the Celtics last night. But he's from the school of play every minute you can. So I don't know exactly what to expect from them here. If we're handling this like a regular game and these guys are out, obviously Towns, Brunson look really good. McBride is probably going to see a considerable boost. No one's really getting to him where he's priced. I don't mind mixing him in. And then Bridges, again, just another guy you could get to, especially on DK and a thin small forward position of 5,700. I will say, in saying all this, we probably want to proceed with some caution. Precious drawing a ton of ownership as well with Robinson out. I don't mind it, but I can't say I feel secure in these minute projections. I mean, you can say that for almost every single team tonight, but even more so for these Knicks. Like, they need to get healthy for the playoffs. At the same time, there's not a ton of synergy there with Brunson having been out for a while. It's interesting they are resting a few of these guys. But yeah, it seems like Detroit's playing their guys here as well. So if there's nothing to play for, I'm a little bit confused why these guys would play their normal minutes. But again, it's Tibbs we're talking about. Knicks are locked into the 3 seed. I believe the Pistons are locked into the 6th. So nothing to play for here, but maybe they just want to see how this will go because they're probably going to play in the first round, right? So maybe they could kind of get a read on each other a little bit here. I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah, it is. It's very tough. And I was looking at Mikal Bridges at 5,700. Before I dug into anything else, he stood out to me as one of the plays we probably want to get over the field on. And the model does like him as basically elite value on DK, but really not as much as I thought he would be. He's only pulling 15% ownership. If he's projected for 36 minutes, I like getting over the field on him, but there is that risk that he's going to lose minutes. And remember, he's the one who was kind of complaining about playing too many minutes anyway. And same thing with Jalen Brunson and Cat. Like Cat, does he have that ceiling that can, win you a tournament tonight? Absolutely. But at 50% owned, like we said, there is a risk. And even if he plays the minutes, he still has to perform. I think I don't mind getting away from Cat a little bit. I didn't quite get to this 45%.
Yeah, I mean, they're popular too, which is interesting. But again, maybe there's, I don't know, the thought, hey, we're going to match up in the first round. Let's kind of treat this like a game that matters and kind of see where we're at so we can scheme for the next few days. But I don't know. I don't really feel great about it.
I would think that Precious and probably Miles McBride's minutes are more secure. Like Precious, we've seen him kind of be jerked around with the rotations, but Mitchell Robinson is out tonight. And I feel like Tibbs really isn't going to care if Precious plays 40. I'm not saying that I guess he could in like weird circumstances, but at 30 minutes, he's one of the top values. I have about 50% exposure right now. We'll see how that turns out, but I'm okay with it if that's what I end up with.
I mean, 50 to me seems a little bit aggressive. Like, I don't mind matching the field, but at the same time, even in these games where Precious is playing extended minutes, if he's on the floor with Cat and Brunson, he doesn't really do much. So I'd be concerned. Like, I know we don't want to talk about usage too much, but there are games where he's in the single digits. That's never a good thing. And I don't know. I like him. I just don't think 50% feels great to me personally, especially on a slate with so many interesting value plays.
I actually thought 50% was low. Like,
Really?
I think it's likely I end up with more. It's just they have
All
no one
right.
else to put on the court. OG is out, Josh Hart's out, Mitchell Robinson is out. Those are the three players that would take his playing time. There's no one else to play, assuming he starts. As long as he's in that starting lineup, because who else is even on the roster? Like, I don't think Huck Porty's. Yeah, Huck Porty's out. Also, they just don't have
Bochamp.
it. Who is that?
They have Marjon Beauchamp up from the G League. There's no bigs though. To your point, so I guess you're right.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of risky because stuff could happen, but it's just at this 3,300 price, we don't need much. And I'm looking at the difference between DK and FanDuel value. He's 3,300 on DK, 4,800 on FanDuel. This ownership, either he's too high owned on FanDuel or he's too low owned on DK. And
Mhm.
I mean, once again, I'm going to lean towards I think he's too low owned on DK, and I think he's probably still a fine play on FanDuel if you're willing to take that risk. If he's on the court, he should be fine.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anything else on the Knicks?
No, I guess not. I don't know. I guess we just kind of have to treat this like a regular game. These guys are going to play their minutes, and if that's the case, then Precious and all the starters do look really good here.
I did want to mention Landry Shamet and campaign project out as elite value at a very low ownership. I definitely think they're worth taking some shots on.
Yeah, I'd say Payne especially. Like he's had some crazy games, point per minute, if he gets the opportunities. Very risky, but the ceiling's there for sure.
Go to the other side of this game, Detroit. I was trying to get more exposure here, but it's kind of hard. Tim Hardaway is showing up as the best value here, and he looks good. Same with Jalen Duren, but not elite like we've been seeing with some guys. Tim Hardaway, Jalen Duren, Cade Cunningham. I got Noah Sarr. I'm only getting exposure to these top three guys. What do you think about that?
I don't mind it. Harris is in. He's listed as probable, so that's
Mm-hmm.
definitely notable. That's going to cut into a SAR a little bit. Hardaway Jr. playing kind of the best basketball he has in a long time, but at the same time, like I just don't think we need to get there. We have so much value in these other games. New Orleans, a lot of guards. I mean, we'll talk about Ty Jerome. There's just plenty of different ways to go. Um, but yeah, I mean, I kind of feel similarly about the Knicks. It's like, why are they going to make these guys play their regular minutes? Um, I don't know. There's no word that they're not going to, though. So I guess we just have to expect them to. In which case, I do think Cunningham and Durant look fine. Um, could see maybe mixing in some Harris and Hardaway, but again, this game just kind of gives me bad vibes. To use the technical term, I just don't know what to expect here at all.
I'm looking at because Isaiah Stewart. Did we get an update on him? Is he still questionable?
Still, as recently as 5:30, he was still questionable.
So if he's out, would you be interested in giving Duran a couple more minutes? Are you willing, like, can we take that risk that maybe he just gets the full run?
I mean, he could. The thing is, if Precious starts next to Cat, the Knicks aren't going to be running a backup center, so they could go really small. We
Okay.
could see like Fontecchio or Harris playing the five at times. Um, so yeah, a few extra minutes, sure. I don't think it's crazy, but Gobert, same price. I think Gobert is one of the best plays on the slate tonight. So I just don't
Nice.
think I get to many other centers in that price range.
Anything else on Detroit?
No, not really. Again, I mean, this game could kill me. It'd probably be something I'd want to be under on, though. But again, if we get word that both teams want to be super competitive here because they're playing in the first round, then sure, why not? But I don't know. Maybe they're deceitful. Maybe they do things that they're not going to be doing in the actual playoff series.
Unicorn is telling us that Knicks and Detroit are not locked into their playoff standing.
Is that true? If that is true, and it could be, then take back everything I said. Definitely play these guys.
I mean, the
But I
Pacers,
was under the impression they were.
like, Knicks would have to lose every game, Pacers would have to win every game, and the Pistons would also have to lose every game. Even if they lost every game, it doesn't matter. I think Pistons maybe can move up to fifth if the Bucks lose out, but it's basically teams have to win out or lose out, and so they're kind of like it can change. Yes, so that's the final conclusion. It can change, but they're
Okay.
pretty much going to be where they are.
Well, there's tiebreakers too. I mean, when I checked the Google standings, which probably isn't the way to go, it said that these teams were all locked into their positions in
Okay.
the East. And now I'm on ESPN. It doesn't even have a signal to tell you if that's the case or not. Check NBA.com. But yeah, if that's the case, I mean, we got to figure this out before the end of the stream. But yeah, I am kind of intrigued more by this game, obviously, if it's something that matters for both teams for seeding.
I don't think Knicks care if they lose, though. I feel like this might be a bold take, but I'd rather play the Bucks in the first round than the Pistons right now. The Bucks kind of suck, and the Pistons are really good.
Yeah, here we go. Clinch playoff berth. Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to find somewhere where this is official. Well,
Well, you want
RotoWire. Yeah, I don't know if RotoWire is any better than these sites though. So I'm just like,
well, you want to talk
sorry.
about Cleveland for a minute, and I'll see if
Yeah,
I find something.
yeah. Please do get me off of this this hunt. Yeah, Cleveland, obviously a team that is locked into their spot. They look good here. Assuming Ty Jerome starts, going to be one of the best point guard plays on the slate. Not a guy who always gets to 30 minutes. We have him for 28 here, but even with less than that, I mean, he's so productive when he's on the floor. Paced up matchup or fast paced matchup here as well against the Pacers. He looks really solid. Other than that, I don't know if there's anything I feel great about. We are projecting Hunter to get the start if he does. I do think he's solid, especially in a thin small forward position. Sam Merrill, someone you could maybe mix in. If you think there's a world where they do kind of rest Jerome because he is a part of that playoff rotation, Craig Porter would be kind of a really large field, high risk type dart throw you could maybe take a crack at. But I don't know. Dean Wade, Isaac Okoro, both likely to start. Neither really jumps off the page at me, even near minimum price. I do think Jerome is kind of a core play for sure tonight. But if I'm going to take shots on anyone, it's probably Hunter and Merrill.
Yeah, yep, I agree. I was like half listening because I was trying to figure this out, but yeah, model's giving us a lot of value here. I think we mix it up. The priorities are going to be Ty Jerome and DeAndre Hunter, right?
Yep. And one more dart to join Porter. And I don't love these guys. I just think that if you're really looking for ways to get different, maybe Okiki gets some run here. He's been playing pretty well when given minutes.
Okay, yeah, I could see that. I don't mind mixing in any of these guys. They're all most of them are showing up pretty good. Okiki is just not going to be a model play, but
It's very high risk. Like
when did he sign with Cleveland?
I think last week.
I like him. It's a shame he keeps bouncing around, but at least he's still in the NBA, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And we already mentioned don't play Jared Allen. He's projected for 21 minutes. He's not going to play 21 minutes, and so this isn't even a thing. I don't know if we need to give a couple more minutes to the backup big men though. Do we give it to Tristan Thompson? Maybe a couple to Dean Wade.
Yeah, I mean Wade might start. Yeah, I think Wade would be a little bit safer.
Okay.
Tristan, I don't know. I don't even know what to expect out of him at this point. I would rather just avoid that, honestly.
All right, let's wrap up the other side of this game, Indiana. And so with Indiana, I'm pretty sure these guys are all locked in because one win from any of these teams locks them in, and there's 3 games left. And so I don't think there's too much that we have to worry about. If someone in the chat like knows definitively more than that,
I
then
found
go
it.
ahead and tell us. Okay.
I think I found it. So Knicks versus Pistons. The Knicks will clinch the 3 seed with a win.
Yeah, they just have to win one
The
game.
Pistons can prevent that from happening. So if the Pistons beat the Knicks and the Pacers overtake the Knicks, the Pistons would get to play the Pacers in the first round. So there is some incentive for them.
Well,
there.
Pacers are still 2 games back of the Knicks, though. They'd have to win twice, and Knicks would have to lose twice, even with the tiebreaker. Right. And the Knicks have the tiebreaker anyway, actually.
Okay, so then how are they not already clinched?
I don't know. Just assuming if they lose out, I'm pretty sure one win from any of these teams. Like if Bucks win two games, they're for sure the 5 seed. Detroit.
I think the Bucks are locked into the 5, but
no, they can be 4, 5, or 6. No, I have it pulled up. I'll
see,
put
guys,
this
we
on the screen.
play DFS. We don't seed the playoff team, so forgive us for the confusion. First of all, I'm also seeing that the Pacers do clinch the 4 with a win, so that's their incentive here.
Yeah. So let me just pull this.
But if they win and they're clinching the 4, then maybe they can't pass the Knicks. I'm a little.
No, they can't. So if Knicks win one game, they're locked into the 3. If the Pacers win one game, they're locked into the 4. Bucks win 2 games, they're locked into the 5. And then Pistons would have to win out and someone else would have to lose for them to move up to 5. And so I really don't think today matters at all. I don't think these teams care. I'm not going to change anything for it now.
Okay, got it.
What games still have meaning tonight?
Okay.
This was 3 minutes ago, so fair question. It's Minnesota-Memphis. Did we talk about Indiana?
Yeah.
We did?
We did not. No.
I'm getting a little bit of Miles Turner, who's shown up as a top value as always. TJ McConnell projected for 18 minutes, showing up as an elite value. And then tournament shots on Pascal. I had to force in a little bit of Halliburton. I only got a couple percent of him, but what did you like on Indiana?
Yeah, I mean they look fine here. I mean this game has blowout written all over it since the Cavs are pretty much benching everybody. With that being said, I guess McConnell becomes the most interesting. Like 2 or 3 extra minutes for him does really go a very long way. Again, they're looking to lock in their seed here apparently, so the starters are going to come out, play their normal minutes as long as this game's competitive. But yeah, I mean you can take a few shots on Hallie, Siakam. Turner's fine, but again, I'm playing all the Gobert in the world, so I probably wouldn't get to him. McConnell in tournaments is somewhat interesting to me, though. Again, a few minutes for him at that price could really, really help you climb a leaderboard if he's going to be low on.
Nice. I don't have anything else to add here.
Yeah.
Just point out Nemhard and Naismith both project out as strong value if you need them as like a last piece in type play. Next game, we got Atlanta at your Nets. Let's start with Atlanta. The injury report was pretty clean today, right? Everyone we're expecting to play is playing.
Yes.
I believe so. Getting a decent chunk of Trae Young, tournament shots on Okongwu, Dyson Daniels, and then Karis LeVert I do like as a value piece. What else were you looking at here?
Yeah, I do think Trae Young's pretty interesting. I mean, this is a good spot for Okongwu. He's coming off 2 huge games. I don't mind mixing him in. I guess for them, this game matters as far as their seeding within the play-in tournament. Like they're only a half a game up on the Bulls, right? So if they were to drop this one somehow, that would not be a good thing. But yeah, I think Trae looks good. Fine getting to Okongwu. Definitely make a case for Daniels. And I mentioned him earlier. I think LeVert's pretty interesting too. This is the team that drafted him. Not that there's some huge narrative here or anything like that, but he's cheap enough. It is a good matchup, pretty high total. At a thin position, I do think his upside's appealing for sure.
Atlanta can't move up, but they do want to win, so they don't drop down. Mm-hmm. So Atlanta probably cares about winning. I wouldn't be worried about these guys' minutes tonight.
Agreed.
Other side of this game, your Nets. We got some guys out. Cam Johnson, Day'Ron Sharpe, Noah Clowney, Cam Thomas, DeAnthony Melton, D'Angelo Russell are all out tonight. Someone was asking about Drew Timme. I got some percentage of him, and it's kind of the same deal. I want a little bit more exposure to this team, but Nick, who should we be looking at closely?
Yeah, it's tough. I do think Beekman is the most interesting to me. He's just played over 30 minutes in back-to-back games. I think that's pretty important. And when you're talking about some of these value plays, because you get to compare them to the other plays that are in that price range. We have him exactly at 30 minutes. I think he's pretty interesting. He actually rates as the best value play on the Nets here. I think on DK for sure. Yep, and on FanDuel, and nobody is playing him, so he's very interesting to me. Maxwell Lewis kind of scoring dependent. I think if Keon's available, you said Keon's in, right?
Keon should be in, yeah.
Yeah. He's going to go back to the bench, so he's kind of boom or bust.
Oh, no.
I don't mind taking a few shots on Timme. I mean, Watford should be in there and starting next to Claxton. Neither of them are probably going to play more than 25 minutes, though. So if I am playing a big here, it probably is actually Drew Timme. But my favorite net by far tonight, probably the only one I'm going to get to, is actually Reece Beekman. I do think he's a solid play. If he's going to play 30 minutes in this paced-up matchup in transition, I think he could do really well.
I like Reece Beekman. I actually bet his over 4.5 assists today. I bet over on Keon's rebounds too. I thought he would start though.
Probably should. I think he'll start. Is the lineup out?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. I must have misunderstood. I thought you said Keon was going to come.
You listed a bunch of guys that were out. I just asked if he was available. I think he is.
Okay.
Yep. And then I guess Tariq Whitehead, if you really want to take a shot on someone, he's pretty aggressive offensively. He's made 3+ threes in each of his last 3 games. At his price, he could be useful, but not something I'm prioritizing over Beekman.
So just going by the model, Beekman is elite value, very model approved at 2 and 3%. I'm going to be over this for sure. It sounds like Nick will be. Maxwell Lewis doesn't project poorly. Zaire Williams. It's just these are just a bunch of guys, right? So.
Yeah, and Jordy's going to kind of cap all their minutes around 25, I think, other than Beekman and maybe Zaire. Timme has been playing closer to 30 as well, but he wants everyone on this team on the floor at some point this game. So what that does is it definitely cuts into the upside of everyone collectively. So again, I like Beekman a lot. Don't mind taking a few shots on Timme or Whitehead.
And then Claxton just kind of gets benched. He doesn't play the fourth quarter sometimes, so I don't know, at 0% owned 6K, I'm not getting any, but if you wanted to play
No.
a few percent, I don't hate it.
It's too close to go Baron price for me.
Let's see what questions we got in the chat. You want to play a Kongwu, but you're worried it may blow out? I mean, any of these games could blow out, right? It's only a 12.5 point spread. It's not too extreme. But Kongwu, I mean, it's going to get people off of him if they think that. And so probably a good play at low ownership. What game still? Reeves or Brooks? Pretty sure Reeves was the number one play on the model, right? Yeah, number 3. Oh,
Yeah.
it's actually Brooks is number 4. So again, coin flip.
Yeah, I lean Reeves slightly, but they're close.
Okay. Yeah, Reeves has been starting. Brooks has been starting actually. Let's see. Keon and Keon should both start. Nice. How do we feel about fading Jerome for Elf? Elf's minutes feel more guaranteed. I'm personally not doing it, but the model's telling us it's fine. I would keep in note like the OF index difference. Ty Jerome is higher, even though the value score is slightly lower. Consider the ownership.
Yeah, I think it's more of a conversation on FanDuel where he's almost 6K, Ty Jerome. And honestly, like I do like Elf. I think he's a good play, but I think you should probably play more Beekman tonight.
Grenade Boy and Ant-Man mini stack. This full Jaw's going to pull out a rocket launcher, dude. It's just
I love
building
it.
up. Love that Beekman dime prop. Nice. Yeah, dude, I laughed out loud when I saw that clip of Jaw, man. Like, why into the crowd though?
That's so funny, man. That was the most likable thing he's done in a long time, too.
Right? Like, good. Well, he ran to Jalen Wells' aid the other day. I like that a lot.
That was okay, obviously, like, yeah. But I mean, as far as like all the celebrations and the gun toting and everything, like, he showed he had a sense of humor about it, which I appreciate. And yeah, running to Wells, I mean, come on, that was brutal. Gotta give him credit there.
We're on to the next game, New Orleans Pelicans at Milwaukee. Wore my Pelicans hat today because this is one of the teams I'm getting heavy exposure to. Elf, Antonio Reeves, Keon Brooks, Carlo Makovich, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, and Jamal Cain all pulling double-digit ownership. Lester Quinoa on FanDuel. Quinones? I don't know. Nick, how are we handling the Pelicans, man?
I think they only have 8 guys available. They're kind of tough to get away from. I think the 4 starters not named JRE are excellent. Makovich looks really solid. I mean, we were playing him when this team was still competitive. Extra minutes for him are going to go a long way here. Brooks Reeves look great at their prices. I'm fine getting to Elf. He's going to have to play all the minutes. Robinson Earl is interesting. Again, I'm playing a lot of Gobert tonight, just filling up my center spots. But I don't know. I think he's okay. If you want to use him as a value center, it's not crazy. At the same time, I mean, this is just not a good matchup. And with Brooks and Reeves just firing shots, I don't know that he has a lot to do here anyway. Quinones and Kane are pretty interesting. Kyler Kelly is listed as the backup center. Probably too thin of a play for me. I do think Quinones and Kane, though, are viable to mix in. Kane has kind of shown us more recently. But again, whenever a team only has 8 guys available, they're all going to have to play minutes. So you can make a case for all of them. But yeah, I think Reeves, Brooks, Payton, Matkovich, you could kind of call them all core plays in some regard here. I think they all look excellent.
Yeah, I think I just want to set a blanket rule, max 4 from each team. I don't really want to go into it deeper than that because all these guys are going to share the court. One thing I do want to mention on your note about Kyler Kelly, he's projected for 6 and 4% at min price. We have a few of these min price centers. I do think it's worth mixing in a couple percent. I just know I don't want 0 in my exposures, and I actually kind of feel better about him than I do Jeremiah Robinson Earl. The model disagrees. The model likes Earl a lot more.
Kind of agree. Yeah, he got an opportunity to play against the Cavs on the 2nd of February. He went for 30 fantasy points, played 34 minutes. Again, Robinson Earl, not really a guy who has the body to play 30 minutes. He's done it this season, but I'm kind of with you. If I have to play a center here, I kind of lean Kelly. It doesn't feel great, but hey, why not? I mean, we're playing some gross plays tonight. It is what it is.
We have Kelly for 22 minutes. If he gets 22 minutes at this ownership, it just feels like he's going to be underowned. And I don't know, it could be a spot. But like Nick said, it is deep. We don't have to get there. But if you're making a large set of lineups, I think you should get a percent or two at least. And then I just have a ton of exposure to the other guys. The ones I'm on the most, Alfred Payton, Makovich, Reeves. And I love this Keon Brooks kid, man. He's good.
I like him.
We'll go to the other side with Milwaukee. Were you worried about Giannis not playing today?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I don't know why he would play.
Yeah.
You need him healthy. It's not like it's their first rodeo either. It's not like you really need to get into the playoffs with any sort of momentum. I would kind of be surprised if he plays, and if he does, I don't think he's going to play more than like 25 minutes. So I don't know. Raw points could matter on this slate, even if he's limited. He could be something that ends up optimal. I'm leaning he's out, honestly. I'd be a little bit surprised if he's in there. I know he's listed as questionable right now. Like, the only reason to play him is just because you're selling tickets to home fans, and otherwise they're looking at a terrible product. So maybe they get him to run around a little bit here, but I don't know. Just showcase Bobby Portis. He's been out for a few weeks.
I wouldn't be surprised if Giannis sits. Just keep in mind whatever the model says about him. I'm sorry?
No, yeah, I totally agree. I think he sits more likely than not.
It's just whatever the model says about him is based on 35 minutes. So this outrageous OF index is based on him playing 35 minutes. This is a ton of ownership. I mean, we'll get the news if he's out, obviously, but yeah, I don't mind that kind of just plan for Giannis not to play today. We'll bump Bobby Portis. It's gross, but we're going to bump Kyle Kuzma. We're going to give a bump to Brook Lopez. KPJ is going to get a bump. Ryan Rollins is probably going to be the pivot in that case. Torian Prince, Gary Trent, everyone gets a bump. And so if you're right and you take Giannis out of your exposures and you get more of this, the rest of the Bucks feels pretty good. But if Giannis ends up playing, then probably hurting. But there should be enough pieces in the last game we can still swap to.
Kind of like that. I mean, Portis and Edey, I think, are if you put Edey at center or utility on DK, he's actually 200 cheaper than Portis. So if you build with Portis and Giannis ends up in, you can just pivot to Edey. I think he's going to be a pretty good play in that late game. But yeah, I like Portis a lot if Giannis is out, obviously.
Anything else on anyone that you want to mention?
This game, no, not really. I mean, keep an eye on the lineup. I mean, they could get weird here if they wanted to. Give some of these young guys a chance to play. I wouldn't. I mean, Lopez isn't even on the injury report, but I think there's a world where he could just sit as well. Um, Maybe see what they have with Pete Nance or something. But yeah, I don't know why they need to play starters here. This game doesn't mean much.
Go to the last game of the slate. We know this game means something to both teams, Minnesota and Memphis. They both want to win. Minnesota, I'm getting heavy exposure to Ant. I think it just makes sense. And then Nick, you love Rudy Gobert. Apparently, I love Rudy Gobert today too because I'm getting a decent chunk of him. Not much else though. A little shares of Julius Randle. Was there anyone else you were looking at?
Yeah, I don't mind Randall. And again, I just think this game is obviously more appealing than a lot of what else is on the slate because we have two teams that want to win. Other than that matchup against Milwaukee where Gobert struggled, he had been on an absolute tear these past couple of weeks, playing the best basketball of his season. I think we could see him return to that form here against Edey and Jackson. It's not the best match for him, but at the same time, I think he's way lower owned than he should be, just kind of considering the context of the slate. Pretty cheap too for what he's been flashing in terms of upside. So I like him a lot. I do think Randall's a solid play. Really hasn't been shooting the ball well. That could turn at any moment. Ant obviously is Ant. I think if you're paying up for anything on the slate, he looks excellent. Again, really haven't seen the ceiling from him lately, but it's not like he's crazy priced. Still sub 10K, obviously on both sites. And usually we talk about this with Giannis. Like you may just want the raw point play, and it could be Trae Young over him if that Knicks Detroit game plays. Like obviously Cunningham and Towns are pretty interesting, but he's right there in OF index. And I think he's got a lot to kind of prove here going into the playoffs. This game matters. And yeah, I'd rather play a guy who is playing for something than a guy who's not. So Ant checks plenty of boxes for me. Conley's so cheap. You can make a case for him. I do think we'd rather play some of these other value guards that we've already talked about, New Orleans, Beekman, a few others, but he's viable. And then, yeah, if I'm playing anything off the bench, I don't mind Naz Reid. The minutes just haven't been consistent, though. Again, I love Gobert, and I think they're both kind of core plays for me here.
Just real quick, Giannis is in and Pat Connaughton's in, so that's kind of dumb.
So got that wrong.
Giannis is sick, though. It's illness. I'm still comfortable coming in under the field on him. There's a lot of risks going on here. And so he could, just come out and put up a Giannis score, but he could also not. And if he's still going to stay high owned, I'd rather just get to the other pay-ups. I do like Mike Conley too, though, to finish up on your point.
Yeah, Giannis is interesting. I mean, I can't wrap my head around this seeding crap, but yeah, he's fine if you have all the value in and you want to play him. But I would be surprised if he played the minutes we have him projected for. We have him at 35. I think like 29, 30 is safer. And if you're still getting to him, putting him there, then I'm fine with it.
We'll go to the last team of the night, Memphis. We got three studs on this team, JJJ, Bane, and Morant. I already see someone asking a Kongwu, JJJ, or Bane. It's a tough question. What do you want to do with... Well, do you have a quick answer for that question?
I think JJJ for me.
I'm surprised. The model actually has a Kongwu slightly higher than JJJ and OF, and then Bane single-digit OF. We don't see that often. Model's telling us we can get away, but the model does like a Kongwu and JJJ a lot, so we have to make some decisions because we only have limited center spots,
Yeah, it's definitely between those two. I mean, Atlanta, Okongwu has been playing great. That game does matter for them. So, um, if you're really chalky, neither are that popular. I think you're good either way. The model slightly prefers Okongwu, so maybe just lean on the model. But first instinct was JJJ. I definitely like both over Bane at Bane's price.
I agree. And I mean, what do you think about Memphis's ownership? I kind of want to get over the field on a lot of pieces here.
Yeah, I mean, usually this isn't a matchup we want to target, but you look at the total 230.5 points. It's a game that matters. They're all kind of playing as many minutes as they have all season since they fired their coach. I like Morant a lot here. I think at his price, he's fine. He's very easy to fit opposite in if you do want to stack this game. Uh, yeah, I think the prices on Bane and Jackson haven't come down as much as they should have, and I've been saying this for a few slates now. Like they have still shown that they have 50 fantasy point upside, which is kind of what you need at those price points. But it's coming so rare compared to what we're seeing out of Morant. So if I'm picking one of the three, it's Morant. Pretty I don't know, aggressively, honestly. But I'm fine mixing in some Jackson, then Bane in that order. Edie at his price, I'm pretty interested in. I don't love the matchup for him, obviously, but they have been relying on him a lot more lately, especially on the offensive end. I mean, he can kind of stretch Gobert out to the 3-point line, which is something that we've seen centers have success against him in the past. So I'm fine with some Edie as much as I do like Gobert. I think that's kind of a good way to hedge if you're playing a handful of lineups. Like you got a bunch of Gobert, maybe take him out of a couple, put Edie in. I think one of these guys really has a ceiling, and they both probably hit their value. But Morant for me, core play here for sure.
This could change, but as of right now, Ja and Zach Edey are both in my single entry, and I'm typically down on Ja, but Nick made a great point about minutes being up since the new coaching situation, and so I'm pretty comfortable getting there. And then, yeah, it's basically like Ja or Trae Young. I guess you could end up playing both, or if you want to do that mini stack with Ant Edwards on the other side.
Yeah, I like it.
What would you think about because I'm over on Gobert as well. I'm over on Zach Edey. Are you okay playing both of them in the same lineup?
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
They're cheap enough, and yeah, it's not like you're going to get 50 out of both, but yeah, I just think they're a little bit underpriced.
Ja Wick. Yeah. Anything else on Memphis? Santi?
No. I mean, Jalen Wells obviously went down. He really didn't do much on the floor in terms of fantasy production. So it's not like that's creating much of a vacuum for anyone to capitalize on. So, yeah, really just the starters, if anything. Mostly Ja, then some Edie, then Jackson, then Bane in that order. Vince Williams probably going to be starting on the wing for the foreseeable future. He's pretty much the exact same play as Jalen Wells. The minutes are going to be there, but I don't know. I don't trust him to produce.
Yeah, Vince Williams. So he started the second half in place of Jalen Wells, but he did not get any extra minutes in that rotation. I think the game was lost anyway. It doesn't even look like Luke Kennard got any extra minutes either, because that was the guy I was going to mention. I don't mind going beyond the model, even though he's clearly the worst play on this team. 3,300 on DK.
Yeah, yeah, you can't really rely on that. And I mean, the Timberwolves are big. It could be like Aldama or Conchar who are getting more minutes than one of the backup guards. So again, I just don't really love anything off the bench tonight for Memphis.
Conchar's interesting. Did we have him projected for any minutes? He's not in the model, but he's available. He played last game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit surprised they're not trying to get him in the rotation ahead of Vince Williams. Like, this is a guy who has been productive for them in the past, even when they were competing in playoffs, etc. So, I don't know. Maybe they just really like Vince Williams to the point. He is buried on the bench. Like, I'm not telling anyone to play Conchar here, but if I'm Memphis, before the playoffs, I'm trying to see what we have in him and if he's someone who should be playing on the wing more because he really hasn't been getting many minutes this season.
I'll mention Conchar actually. So he did not play in the first half when Jalen Wells was playing, but then in the second half, John Conchar actually did get one rotation in the third quarter before playing garbage time. So this is going way, way beyond the model. But again, if you're playing large set of lineups, I probably have more than 0% John Conchar tonight. I understand the risk I'm taking could just be a zero, but could be a 3K play, and there's other 3K plays today, so maybe it's not necessary, but I don't know. Talk myself into some John Conchar. Nick, you want to feed me a dummy?
Yeah, let's go. Let's start with on DK. It's
Ty
probably going to
Jerome?
be Ty Jerome. Yeah, pretty comfortable with that. Makovich at power forward.
Mm-hmm.
I do like Reeves. He's fine. Small forward.
Antonio. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Beekman?
Yeah, I like Beekman. I think, yeah, I like him as a pivot off elf, and maybe it burns me, but I think he has a little bit more upside. Um, but we'll see. I mean, Elf's gonna have to play all the minutes, so
Yeah, you
you're
guys
playing
can plug
cash in small
in.
field. Stick to Elf. I like Beekman a lot.
Yeah, for GPPs, I agree for sure. And I'm still getting to a bunch of Elf, and I'm going to have more Elf than Beekman in my exposures, but I'm going to be more over the field on Beekman if I even am over on Elf.
Yeah, I do think if we're paying up for much tonight, I do like that late game. I kind of want to get to some Ant.
Do Anthony Edwards in the util.
Yeah, and let me zoom into what you got going on here.
Do Jaren
Well, we could have put
Jackson.
Ant at forward, right? Or no, he doesn't have.
He's shooting guard only, which is very that actually hurts us tonight.
Yeah, it does. I mean, we want to go Rudy or Edie.
Rudy or Edie. I'd be okay. Well, I have Edie in my single entry right now.
I like both. I mean, I think Rudy maybe has more upside for the price, but they
Edie.
both are
Well,
good.
let me see if we can do this. We'll plug in Rudy because he's a little bit more expensive, and then we can fit in, for example, Jaren Jackson Jr. and still have 8,300 left for a small forward. But we determined small forwards. Is that the position we were talking crap about earlier?
Yes, it
Probably
is.
got to figure
Yeah,
that out.
let's see real quick. I mean, Reeves, we don't have Reeves at small forward. He should be at small forward.
Is he small forward eligible? Oh, beautiful. Yeah, that actually helps a lot. Now we have our
Yeah.
util open.
Okay. And then, I mean, what are we looking
8,300
at?
for a util. That gives us Desmond Bain. Probably move something around. Let's try Zach Edey at center. Maybe we can even get to one of the other pay ups. 9,500 gets us Tyrese, John Morant. Have 500 left to upgrade someone.
I like Ja. Yeah, you get the Giant stack. Can upgrade something if you wanted to. It's a
John
pretty good build.
Stagg. Yeah, and it's this isn't super chalk. A lot of this is chalky, but there's a lot of cheap value. Like Beekman is the model play that we're kind of getting to. That I think the field isn't going to get to as much. But where was Beekman on here? 15.6 DK value at 2%. Let's just take a look at like point guards overall. Peyton, Ty Jerome, Mike Conley, Craig Porter. Craig Porter could be a tournament dart, but Beekman's right here. So I kind of like that
Yeah,
2% a lot.
nice.
Anything else you want to mention, dude? This is my last stream of the regular season. I'm out of town this whole weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll be doing some playoff stuff, so I'm sure we'll be back soon. But yeah, nothing. Just keep an eye on lineups, keep an eye on news. I mean, everyone obviously monitor your bankroll. This time of year is complete chaos, and you got to kind of lean into it, take a lot of risks. Just know what you're getting yourself into. This is pretty much a summer league slate in some regard. But yeah, looking forward to the playoffs where these minutes start to get a little bit more projectable. We could find that sweet spot again. But for now, we'll do the best we can. I know we got someone about to start in Discord as well. So yeah, let's crush it tonight and into the weekend. I'll be back tomorrow for anyone wondering. That was Smitty breaking down that Friday night slate.
Yeah, we do have Smitty in the Discord. Instructions to join that are in the description below. And then I guess we have 1 minute. But Don, this question with this news, do we still get to the Pelicans players? Is it the Giannis being available news? We already had Giannis projected in when all this was calculated, and all of these guys are probably still the best values on the slate. This is their whole team tonight. This is all they have.
Yeah, they have 8 guys. Whether they're winning or losing, they're going to have to play a ton of minutes. So I wouldn't worry about it.
I just want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for letting us be at least one of your sources for NBA DFS content. We do this show because we like it more than anything, and so it's just helping us grow the show, liking the video, subscribing to the channel. I can't thank you guys enough. So join the Discord if you want to keep in touch. We will have other content out all year round. DFS never stops. Find me on Twitter at Chuck Silver DFS. But other than that, it's truly been a pleasure, and I'll see you guys. Probably see you guys next week. But thanks for the regular season, guys.